Good day, welcome back to my channel. So this is the new project, the Bell UH-13 Sioux. So this is the MASH helicopter, or the early version, one of the early Army helicopters. I had done an unboxing of this kit previously, and apparently the video got messed up. So we'll go ahead and we'll go through. It just won't be, brand new opening of all the boxes. So this is an Italeri kit. It is in 1/48 scale because I'm finding I'm running out of space, so I need to start doing some things in 48 as opposed to the bigger ones. Around the box, it's kit number 2820, and there's information. You got some nice box art. On your back, you have the different versions that you can put together, and apparently the transfers are in here for these different versions. U.S. Army, Royal Army Air Corps, even have some Australian Army, which would be kind of neat. I might have to do that one just because, Aussies. And on one side, you get a nice look at it. Now, the nice thing about the Sioux is it's basically bare bones, right? It's old school helicopter where you have a framework and mechanics. So a lot of the detail of the mechanics, or a lot of the detail is in the mechanics and things like that. So you have some opportunities. But let's take a look at it. Interesting thing about this aircraft is that it allows for, it's a very simple aircraft. So if you really want to get into it and do some modifications, that's the word I'm looking for, you can. So we'll start with the instruction sheet, and as you can see, it's a big long fold out. Nice thing about it, you've got your sprue callouts, your sprue maps, and then you go right into the engine. Now, typically it's either cockpit or something, but with this, you're going to start with the engine. It looks to be pretty easy to build up, and I imagine that when you get into it, you've got some opportunity to dress that up with some wires and painting and so forth. The cockpit is very simple, and the thing is, the cockpit in a Sioux was really simple. I've flown like a Schweitzer 300, and it's a smaller version of something very, very similar to this, and it's really, really that simple. It's a chair and a small instrument console, your collective, your cyclic, and your pedals, and that's about it. So then you after you do your cockpit and your engine, then you put together the basic framework for the helicopter and then start putting things into it. One of the interesting things about these kits is, often when you see this a model of this aircraft, the piping is kind of chunky, so we'll take a look at that and see how well that comes out. And you can see, you go ahead, get the front cockpit on, your detail pieces that go back to your tail rotor, your landing skids, and then your rotor head, and that's essentially, then you put it all together. Drop the canopy cover on, and there you go. And then you have your color callouts for your different versions. So you've got some nice blue. You've got a red one here for, what was it? I'm thinking that's Italian. Yeah, Italian. This one's nice green. Royal Army Air Corps, U.S. Army, and then over here are another blue one, which is Spain, and then the Aussies. So pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at the transfer sheet, and the transfers are pretty nice. They look pretty well in register, and nice colors. Interesting thing about the U.S. Army one is this actually goes on the bubble canopy, so putting that on might be interesting. I've never put a transfer on a canopy, so I don't know what the effect of, like, say, setting solution would be, but that would be something to pay attention to. Like I said, this one right here, this is F. These are the Aussies. No more to talk about. The one I keep thinking that's kind of the route I want to go. I also have here like I said, remember I opened this once before, and this is the canopy. And remember, this is sort of the centerpiece of the model, right? So the big bubble canopy of the Sioux is sort of it, and you can kind of see there's a little bit of scratches from the way it was packed. So I think what I will need to do, and it's really not showing up very well, so it actually looks pretty nice. This comes in a bag and it's sort of stuffed in that box. I've put it back in, wrapped up in this to help protect it. I find I might need to polish it, but I think it's in pretty decent shape. When it comes to the actual kit part, so let's take a look at the engine. The engine's looking pretty simplistic. Now, one of the versions has a machine gun on it. You can see the machine gun doesn't look too terrible, right? Looks kind of nice. Your rotor head looks good. These are your pedals. So your cockpit pedals, what they are is they're on a bar and you really can't tell on this, but as you push one forward, the other one comes back. This just looks like it's a bar with sticks on it. You can dress that up too. So again, looking at the engine, looks like it's kind of simplistic. You could probably dress all that up and make it look a little nicer. I believe this is the back part of the cockpit. Here's your seat. Now the seat's kind of nice, right? It's kind of got a nice vinyl look. And then this is one of the cage. Now the bars don't look to be too bad. They don't look to be really all that chunky, although you can see here there's definitely flash, which means there's going to be seam lines, and I can feel it as I run my fingers over this. There's a definite seam line there. Let's see if we can get this to focus there. There we go. You can kind of see it. There's definite seam lines. There's going to be cleanup on that, which is going to be a little bit of a pain. Otherwise, the rest of the detail of the parts looks pretty nice. One thing to call out, where is it here? Here's your instrument panel, and it's pretty plain. And on the transfer sheet, there's no dials, so there's no transfer for those. So that you can kind of, come on, let's get to focus here. You can see little bits of it, right? There's really not a lot of detail there. I think there was at one time, because I can kind of feel a little bit. There may have been detail at one time. If I can get this to zoom in and maybe see. Yeah, you can kind of see just a little bit, but this is old enough now that it's just a little, there's nothing. They're sort of blobs. So one thing I did do is I picked up an Eduard set, but we'll get to that. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty nice. Again, clean up for the piping. This is the exhaust piping. Here's your tanks, get your fuel tanks, and then your other side. So that's the plastic for this, and that's what's in this kit. It's nice. This is actually a pretty nice kit. So for what it is, I'm not unimpressed. Now, to add to that, like I said, I did go ahead and pick up the Eduard set. So there is an Eduard set for this. And I think this might actually be for a different kit. Might be for, this is for the Italeri kit. So this actually is for the one I have. So let's go ahead and pull this guy out. Start with the instructions. And then this will show you do have some things to dress up the engine a little bit. You have some things to dress up the rotor head, and that's where a lot of the details, right? So the rotor head is sort of one of the more visible parts. This is a bunch of stuff to update the engine, make the engine look better. Here's some things to improve the cockpit a bit. And then this is really what I got it for, was the instrument panel, because the instrument panel really did not look good at all. Then you have like straps for the tanks, caps for the tail wing here. Yeah, a few other detail parts here and there. line of a track for the guns if you're going to use those. I won't. And some updates, or I guess some improvements for the door handles. There we go. So yeah, there's some nice stuff in the Eduard kit that can sort of dress that up a little bit. And you know, it's for me. You know, I kind of want to play around with this and see what I can do. Maybe make it look a little bit nicer. This is the fret, and you know, there's like the chain, the drive chain, other detail parts here, right? And this is all like engine and cockpit and things like that. And then this here is the essentially what is the instrument panel, and then other detail parts for the cockpit. So yeah, anyway, that is what's in the box, plus the Eduard kit for the UH-13 Sioux. So let's go ahead and if you're interested in what this kit is and what it looks like, that's what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and get cracked into building it, but I will go ahead and end this video now, since this is the unboxing and you can see what's there. And later on, I'll go ahead, you'll have a build series for it. So again, I hope this was helpful and entertaining for those who have been looking at this kit or who are interested in this kit and want to see what you know, what the investment would be like. That's what's in there. And thank you very much for watching. Until next time, happy modeling.